Here with guest Lexi Kelly, guest Jennifer Partika, President Abington Democrat and Director of Abington Democrat. And Carrie, I'm here with Carrie, of course. Carrie, come on, say hi to the people.
Hello, I'm just waiting to hear this dog barks again. She's all fired up. Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Saturday.
Yes, so I got a surprise question for you before we start the show and get on with these lovely ladies we have in the building. I got to ask you a question.
All
so
right.
there's a lot trending on social media.
There is.
With Marty Flynn, Senator Marty Flynn, and you've been posting about it, you've been giving in details. Is there a beef there with you and Marty or what?
I have no beef with Marty personally at all. He said I've known Marty a long time, and I've made that clear to some people who've asked me, on the side. This is not personal in any way, shape, or form. But the facts are the facts. And I feel like there's a lot going on right now, especially with the county commissioners. And I believe it's our responsibility, especially doing the show now, to put the facts out there. It's not personal, and I hate to say that because people always take things personally. It's not personal, but these are the facts of what's going on right now. And I feel like putting the information out there is the right thing to do, and people can make their own judgments on it, have their own opinions, but absolutely not is this in any way against Marty personally. And I actually posted on our page the letter he put out in support of, not supporting the ICE raids. And I feel like, he does a lot of good as well, which I feel like we share that too. But I feel like just because I know someone and I'm friends with someone and I like them, it does not mean that we cannot cover what's going on locally. And that always has to come first.
Right, absolutely. Well, now we can get to the ladies.
No more surprises.
The ladies in the. I think that was important to know.
Well, yeah.
Because, people, politics, unfortunately, people think you're automatically against them if you're not for them.
No.
Or you're against them if you're telling them the truth of what's actually going on. So if we don't state that, if we don't let it be known, then we can have issues, and we don't want to have issues.
I don't want to have issues, and I feel like myself personally, I am a Democrat because Democrats align with my values and things I believe. But I am a person first, and I feel like whether you're a Democrat or Republican or independent, if you're doing something not on the up and up, or there's a swirl of controversy around you in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to speak about it.
Right. So now let's introduce the ladies. We got Lexi Kelly.
Yeah.
She is a grassroots organizer and a community leader based in Clark Summit. As president of the Democratic
Club,
she is known for her claimed and exclusive leadership style and her focus on rebuilding trust in the local democratic institution. After years of voter empathy, under her direction, the committee has emphasized community engagement and open dialogue, including outreach efforts on immigration and diversity that were featured on Fox 56 in September 2025. Kelly's bridge building approach is helped connected moderates, independents, and Democrats across the traditional Red Line Township.
And that is huge. I give you ladies so much class on that. I mean, we said that before.
Right.
Clark Summit just historically has been very red.
Yeah.
So to see this in the Abingtons, it is just, I mean, many props given here for the work you did. That's just very,
Thank
Right.
you.
to be very proud of that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
And Jennifer is a registered nurse with a master's degree in nursing and extensive experience in health policy. As a director of the Abington Democratic Club, she has been recognized by the Pennsylvania Democratic Club as a mover and shaker for her work linking healthcare, work issues, and community well-being and local politics. Part of the new generation of civic leadership. Partika brings professional credibility and practical solutions-oriented prospect to public service, qualities that resonate strongly with voters seeking authenticity over political theory. So, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I hope I
Good
did a
to be
good job with that.
You did.
I
That's
tried.
great.
We
That was
tried.
very lovely. Thank you.
Right. So, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
And the Abington Democrats or about
About yourself. Just tell me, how long have you guys been Democrats? Why are you a Democrat? What's your values?
okay.
You know.
Well, I've been a Democrat for not my whole life. I actually grew up in a pretty Republican household, and I became a Democrat because I am more aligned with those values right now and those issues. I am in Clark Summit. I graduated from Abington Heights a long time ago. I have a young son who's, well, not young, he's going to be 26 and he's finishing up law school. And he's in the Philadelphia area, and my husband is an attorney in Scranton.
How about you, Jennifer?
I feel like I should have helped you.
Yeah.
So,
I was
so
like, what?
I wasn't sure where you were going with
Me
that.
too.
So my name is Jen Partika. I am also very much like Lexi, a mom of kind of grown and flown and on their own kids. I've been a Democrat my whole life, except once I voted for Ross Perot. I don't know why, but I did, and I it's like a point of it's like a joke in our family. But I have been doing this work for about 20 years. I have been a volunteer. My kids grew up in Scranton. We moved to the Abingtons when my husband and I got married. We needed a fifth bedroom, so we moved to the Glenburn area. And I was lucky enough to fall into, at first, an organization called Dalton for Democracy, which turned Dalton blue. So if you think Clark Summit was Dalton was, that's kind of more rural
Yes,
and more
yes.
red. And then I was lucky enough to have kind of been brought into the circle of the Abington Democrats. So I love doing this because very much like you said earlier, I don't think that politics is politics anymore. I think politics is values. I really, really do. I think it's a reflection of our values and a reflection of what we feel is important. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be doing the kind of work that we're doing under Lexi's leadership and being effective at the work that we're doing under Lexi's leadership. So.
Right. Being in the South Abington, our Abington community, as long as I can remember, it's traditionally been red.
Mm-hmm.
Being that it's blue now, how do you feel you've done or helped towards the process?
Well, I think it's been a slow growth in the Abingtons. I think they've been turning blue for probably a decade or more. And it's interesting because Clark Summit had always had a traditionally red council. It's all, pretty much blue now. I think what the Abington Democrats' main focus is an informed electorate. And what we find is people go to the polls and they just vote. And they tend to vote for the team that they're on as opposed to the issue. So our goal is to make sure that when people go to vote, they know how their vote is going to affect the issues around them, nationally and locally. And unfortunately, I think we have a lot of work to do to really have an informed electorate.
Good answer.
I think the demographics also in the Abingtons have changed. I think that a lot of people from the Scranton areas, maybe the more have they've experienced some success, maybe have moved into maybe what Pennsylvania ranks as a better school district, things like that. And also the I say this as a girl who grew up in like kind of like the Rust Belt of like Lower Greenridge, but like if you're educated and successful, I think you have the advantage of possibly having an income that might put you in that particular section of the city. Very much like if you have the education and the professional success, you would be in maybe one of the better neighborhoods in some of Dunmore's neighborhoods and things like that. So I feel like our demographics in northeastern Pennsylvania do not necessarily create the stronghold that was
Yeah.
Scranton. You know, like it
Yeah.
wasn't like Scranton was blue and everything else. I think as people become successful and maybe I just think the demographics have changed a lot. I know that working in medicine is a melting pot. Like
Yeah.
it's 100% a melting pot. It is. I have worked with I have worked with people from every single country on the globe, and I think that exposure for maybe someone who who grew up not having those experiences matter, you know. And I think you know, the demographics have changed. I think it's changing the politics of maybe areas that we have said, oh, they're rich and they're out of touch and they're Republican, you know.
Yeah.
So some of those scenarios have been my experience as I've moved up there. I find that there's a lot of people like me that
Yeah.
maybe grew up, maybe without the best resources, but we've tried to create, you know, some opportunities for our kids. So
I think that Jen brings up a very good point. I would like to point out, though, that I'm not certain that your educational level is
that's true.
definitely
Well, I was just-
what
Yeah.
creates
I was just
your...
going to say that too, and I agree with you. I've been a social worker my whole life, and I believe it's your experiences and being exposed to different people and different cultures more so.
But it's also, you know, we're experiencing a time of voter apathy. I think
Mhm.
people feel like,
Yeah.
oh, there's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
I can do. And so if you're not engaged in the process, you're not informed about the
Yes.
issues.
Mhm.
And when I say an informed electorate, I'm not saying that's based on educational level.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying that's based on how interested you are in these issues. And if you have an interest and you're willing to be active with the issues, then you're willing to learn about them and you can make a more educated
Yeah.
decision when you go to the
Yeah.
poll.
Yes.
Well, anything you want to ask them before we get into this?
No, I think we're good.
All right, so let's start with the party divide a little bit. Who's the county party chair, Chris Patrick, has broken ranks with the Abington Democrat by supporting Lauren Bieber Manley, while your organization has endorsed Colleen Egan Garrity. What does the split say about where the party stands right now?
Well, I think that the split is not over Lauren Bieber
Yeah.
Malin and over Colleen Garrity. I think the split was happening ahead of this.
Yeah.
I believe that the county is turning red as much as we're working in the Abingtons and people are working in the Daltons. In Dalton, I'm not certain that there's that much work being done within the county, and I'm not so sure that the county is working towards government of the people, by the people, and for the people, as much as they are working for a government of a few people to get what they want.
And I agree with you there. And talking about before when you said, you know, I've been very vocal in speaking out, but I agree with you very much right now. And this is like one of my things. I put the Democrats in parentheses because a lot of these people, and I'm not just talking singling out Lauren. I mean, I'm just talking about looking back in some of these deals and that are going on. There are a lot of people that I know very well do not share the democratic values that we are standing up for. And I was looking around at this myself and being like, what is going on here? Because I don't feel like they're coming for a place of the best interest of people. I feel like they're coming from a place, again, for the best interest of financially for a very small amount of people.
And I think a really good demonstration of that is what happened at the county this past week. When you have a gentleman who was the number one vote getter, and that would be Bill Gaughan as a commissioner, and then the second vote getter is 19,000 votes, like Bill had 37 or something. You have Chris Shermack, who came in with 19, and then you have Brenda Sacco, who has a grand total of 0. I'm not certain that flipping that seat is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You have somebody that the voters elected and they put their faith in, and those numbers prove they have faith in that person. Why would the party come and make sure that that was flipped? I'm confused by that.
And I was too. And I remember at our last podcast, we were talking about that because the judgment just came in from the court that they can go ahead with the charter. And you said, what's going to happen? I said, well, they could do that, but hopefully with 2 weeks left, they just let it go and let the people decide. I was very disappointed when I saw
Yes.
they went the other route.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I think you pretty much answered this next question, but I'll ask it anyways. Do these competing endorsements show healthy democracy inside the party or a real fracture?
Okay, I can take that. So I don't think it demonstrates a fracture. I think it demonstrates that a few people who somehow are in charge of decisions are making decisions that benefit a few people. It's not so when we look at, in this particular race, since this is the race you want to talk about, I'm sure Lauren Bieber Malin is a lovely person. I don't know her. I've seen the pictures online. They're very damning. I feel they're very damning. That's a problem for me. They're problematic for me. That is not who I, would have wanted to see in that seat. But this
Can I speak a little bit upon the pictures?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, this
So
is your show. You can do whatever you want.
Before we get too crazy, all right. So the pictures are just what they are. They're just pictures. Like Lauren's family, Lauren's mom has been a lifelong Democrat. Lauren's dad has been a Republican that eventually switched over to a Democrat. Now, besides saying that, what does the county clerk have to do with anything to do with being a Republican in the past or being a Democrat now?
Well, first of all, I will quickly say that I would let my ears frostbite off of my head before I would put that hat on. And I guess the second thing I want to say is that my experience in those 20 years of volunteering for the Democrats, so this is what you should understand about Colleen. Any event that was going on, anything that I was volunteering to help with, I would show up, Colleen was already there. Like if we say to ourselves, oh, it doesn't matter who the Democrats nominate to be the Democrat. It does to me. It does to me, because if you're putting this person forward as the Democratic candidate, I want to know that they're a Democrat. I want to know they're qualified. I want to know they're going to represent, and so it's funny, you're a mom with a daughter. Like, I'm telling you, I am a registered nurse. I do not want to see Pennsylvania be, Alabama. I'm going to vote Democrat up and down that ballot 100%. Women's lives are at risk right now. So it's not like Jen is being dramatic. It is 100% women's lives are at risk. So I don't want to see anything that I have to look at and say, I wonder if this person is going to represent my best interests or my daughter's best interests. In the same breath, Colleen has experience in that office. She literally worked in that office.
Absolutely.
Colleen has experience with the county. She has run on top of the fact that she is an incredibly dedicated Democrat. So it might be, hey, she showed up, she put on the costume of a MAGA Republican for a game and got her picture taken. That might definitely be a very valid take. For me, I look at that, I am afraid of that. I don't want that anywhere near my county party. I will never support anything like that. I won't.
I mean, we've all taken pictures that would
haven't.
probably pop up today. We'd probably be like, oh my God, this is the problem.
Definitely. I toured with the Grateful Dead for 3 years in a 71 VW bus. So I 100% hear what you're saying. But that to me is akin to wearing a swastika or wearing, it is not okay.
But
MAGA
at the time of the photos, it wasn't like the way it is now. It was a little shaky, but people were still undecided as what Trump actually was.
Well, from what I understand, that photo was taken in 2021.
Right.
So in 2021, I'm going to tell you that I was a registered nurse on the front lines of the pandemic.
Right.
I was working 24/7. I was reusing my N95 mask.
Right.
Trump did nothing, absolutely nothing to help me on those front lines. What he did was he denied it. He made things so hard for me. He put things in patients' minds. I would have patients screaming at me that it wasn't COVID. Get me, what was that drug? Why can't I think of it?
Yeah,
ivermectin.
And I do.
So you can say that, but and that might have been your experience, and I mean you no disrespect, and I would never come on your show and mean you, but that was your experience, and that's okay. My experience was very different. My experience was extremely alarming. I was watching people die. I was watching young people die. I was watching people scream at me and tell me that it wasn't true. So I have a very different experience about what that, and now of course it's terrible. It's terrible everywhere, and it's terrible obviously. But I was in a situation that was very different than yours. So
Right, but while you were going through your situation, a lot of us were still very, very, very confused. We didn't know what to believe. I mean, we didn't know what to think. I mean, we did know there was a disease out there, COVID or vaccine or whatever you want to call it. We did know that. I'm not saying that she's right for doing what she did. I mean, but I do feel though it's just a picture. It doesn't mean it's her. It doesn't mean what's inside of her. It doesn't mean her beliefs. I don't think it means any of that. I think honestly think she went to a rally, just like I did. I went to the rally at Riverfront, and I just wanted to see what it was like. I just wanted to see like what is this actually like? Because you see it on TV, you hear it on the news, you see this, you see that. But I can guarantee you, I'll bet money on this. If you actually met Lauren, I think you would actually like her.
well, I did meet her, and I'm like I said, this is nothing. And guess what? If I met Lauren in a situation where Colleen wasn't her opponent, I might support Lauren. Like
Right.
I just know for a fact that Colleen was qualified, that she was available, that she wanted it, that she has done her due diligence as far as fighting kind of what we're looking at right now. Like she was one of the soldiers right from the get-go, willing to stand in front of this, and so I'm not gonna sanctify her or anything. I mean, she's no